Hi, I'm Sal Velez Jr., and you're watching The Red Booth Show.
Hi, welcome to The Red Booth Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Q. On tonight's episode, I have actor Sal Velez Jr., who is in a new Netflix show called Gente-fied. He's also been in Hand of God, Chicago Justice, and many more. And he talks all about it on the show. So come and join us. So hey, Sal.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good.
I'm happy to have you here on the show.
Thank you so much.
This is pretty exciting, actually, because I met you at Sundance.
Yes.
And you had a show called Gente-fied that was there.
Yes.
And now it has been picked up by Netflix.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting, and it looks really funny.
Yeah, Netflix. They finally made an announcement on a couple weeks ago. To be honest, even though I think we had got a deal probably sometime during last year.
Yeah.
And Netflix is a big pioneer nowadays. You know, they're definitely a game changer. They're putting out a lot of good product. The series Gente-fied was produced by America Ferrera and
That's
Macro.
right.
Macro, the owner's Charles King. He did Fences with Denzel Washington.
Wow.
And a lot of other projects, and very powerful film production company. And this series is actually it's all about Boyle Heights. It's a comedy. The director Marvin Lemus had came and cast me a while ago to play this Mexican character. I'm Puerto Rican, but he asked me to play this Mexican character who was growing up in Boyle Heights, and he was just dealing with day-to-day life. Whatever's going through, whatever they're dealing with today is exactly what the series is about. There's no murders, there's no drug dealing, there's no crazy stereotypical type of nuances in there. Just balls to the wall funny. Yeah. And the character I play is Eric. He's kind of like a street savvy, street smart type of bookworm. He's a nerd, but he dresses like he's Ice Cube. You know what I mean? And he walks the streets of Boyle Heights, knowing more than he should know. And he ends up, his biggest thing is not to be stereotyped or to be put in that little pigeonhole that everybody thinks he's supposed to be. Yet he does everything that he shouldn't be doing. So, and he smokes a lot of weed. So he's a fun guy. Yeah.
And he gets into some pretty funny little arguments too, from what I can see.
Oh yeah. Like he prides himself on never ever dating outside of his race. So the joke on one of the jokes.
Racist.
I know.
I just have to say that's racist. Okay?
I know, you would think in this day and time. So so his cousin's always ragging on him because he doesn't want to date a white girl, and he says that white girls are not his pace, not his speed. But then he ends up hooking up with a white girl in the show, and she ends up being like really cool. Surprises him because she has a lot of she's very smart also, and she has a lot of positive things that instead of. And he thought he was going to pick her apart. Instead, she picks him apart, and then they end up going out. And at the end of the show, it's like, okay, I think I like her, So, yeah, it's pretty funny.
That's awesome. And what is America is also in the show as well.
Yes.
And what sort of a role does she play? Can you kind of tell?
America, well, she jumped on as our producer. She's in charge of of real estate and properties, like delegating who gets loans, because the whole thing about Gente-fied is all about gentrification.
Right.
And
it's about the whole city and the town area, like changing,
exactly.
And people coming in and developing and stuff.
Exactly. So they're being pushed out, and they don't know. So your local business owners, your families who can't afford to move anywhere else, they don't know why. They just keep paying the rent increase. All the way to the point where they end up going to the banks trying to get a loan to get out of their jam that they're in. And America is actually one of the bankers there, and she's kind of like a play by the rules. She plays the bad guy. You know what I mean? But the truth is that I know America very well. She's deep down inside, she's a huge advocate for anything that's against gentrification, anything that's against. Not giving equality to any ethnicity or or races of any kind. So she's a very strong advocate of that. Yeah. And so when I went to Boyle Heights for the first time, I started seeing all the things that they were going through. And I was like, man, this is just like what happened, in the 80s and the 90s, when they were tearing down Cabrini Green down the street from my house, So I don't know, but Boyle Heights is filled with culture. There's a musician that sits on every corner. They're mariachi people. And they're real mariachi. They dress in their uniform. They have the huge hats.
That's awesome.
Guys walking around with, accordions and guitars, and they'll play for you for $1, and
awesome.
Traditional music, very cultural, rooted people. And so it's funny because there's like you can actually, with about $50, you can get to do like a mariachi off, you know what I mean? Where they'll stand against each other
Really?
and just trumpet down from each other, and you're
That's
just
amazing.
like, yeah, here, and here's another 10, go for it, I messed around and played like that, but yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We have to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with Sal Velez Jr.